Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Top Rope Podcast. It's our SummerSlam review. Not going to waste any time. Let's get right into it. We're going to work our way backwards to the front, talk about this entire show. Going to give you my top 5 moments of the night, what I thought was the loudest pops of the night, just overall the crowd this evening. That stadium was lit, and man, oh man, I thought this, I'm a creature of the moment here, but I thought this was one of the best SummerSlams of all time. I really did, from top to bottom. I don't think any single match disappointed. Even the one or two of them that I wasn't extremely excited about, I came out of it thinking, yes, what a great job that they did. And in that main event, went about as expected. Everybody was waiting on Roman Reigns. I thought they did it at an excellent time with both men being down in the ring. Roman Reigns comes out, screws over Solo Sikoa, just everything to set that up. With Jacob Fatu and his big high spot going through the table on Cody, and then him holding the ankle. Him being down. Some people are saying and Triple H in the post show said that he was banged up a little bit. I thought that was the plan all along. Maybe it was, but he actually really got hurt on it. But I thought, okay, that was the plan. It looked like he hurt his foot, so he's out of the picture for when Roman comes out. I just thought everything worked to perfection, went just as I expected, with Kevin Owens and Randy Orton coming out and them fighting the Tongas to the back, get them out of the picture, set the table, no pun intended, for the head of the table, Roman Reigns, to make his return. And I gotta be honest with you, I'm watching this, at that point it's like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, because I work on Saturday nights. So that's why I'm unable to watch the show live and get these up a little quicker. I really wish I could do that, but a man's gotta make some money. So Peacock can't start that thing till midnight. So that's about 3:30 in the morning. But I was tired. But the show kept me so interested. At no point was I starting to fall asleep at all. And I have not been able to say that every single time on some of these pay-per-views here in recent memory. Yes, for the most part, this one was just absolutely fabulous. But Roman Reigns coming to the ring, I guess I was getting a little bit tired. I was figuring out, what does OTC mean? I was like, off the chain? No. The original tribal chief. And man, oh man, after he screws over Solo, and then Cody hits the crossroads on Solo, and Cody just staring at Roman Reigns the entire time through that whole process. Kind of gave him a little nod, but you didn't see Roman Reigns really reciprocate any nod towards Cody Rhodes. And just as I said on my preview show, they said exactly this in the post show with the panel, talking about, no, it wasn't about Roman Reigns coming out to help Cody Rhodes at all. He was coming out to get some on Solo Sikoa. Period. It'd be very, very interesting to see where they go with that. I think they'll tell that story. I think at first we're going to see Roman Reigns just kind of by himself. Maybe he tries to talk Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga Tongaloa into joining him and saying, hey man, what are you doing? Solo Sikoa is not your tribal chief. I'm your tribal chief. You need to do what I say. And how I say things go, that's how it's going to be. And then there's maybe a little bit of a tug and pull, but eventually, no. Maybe we see Jacob Fatu in the ring, and he's trying to decide whether or not he's going to go with Solo or Roman. And then he sides with Solo, same with Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. And so then, yes, we realize that Roman Reigns is all by himself for at least a little while. before, I do think, like everybody's saying for the most part, that it will be the original bloodline with the Usos and Sami Zayn joining once again to have the Bloodline Civil War Part 2. So I think that's going to play out over the next several weeks, months, and I think it's to be some very, very exciting television for sure. And I think, yeah, I mean, I'm going to get Roman Reigns. When do we get one-on-one Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa? Is it as soon as Bash at Berlin? I don't know. I think they'll probably drag that out a little bit longer past that, possibly at Bad Blood, just because they are blood. I'm not sure when that pay-per-view is, maybe a couple months perhaps. And then, yeah, we see maybe their singles match. Then we see the Bloodline Civil War at Survivor Series War Games. I think that's how that'll all shake out. Where does it eventually lead? I think, you know, Roman, like I said, should say, hey, man, I didn't come out there for you. I come out there because I'm not happy with anything that Solo Sikoa has done or has said about me, talking trash about me. That's why I came out there, but soon, when I get my tribal chief back, I will get that back from Solo Sikoa, and then I am coming back for that championship. So, I don't know, do we see a rematch between Roman and Cody at WrestleMania? I'm not so sure. I think The Rock gets involved back in this whole picture at some point. Is it The Rock and Cody Rhodes? Is it The Rock and Roman Reigns? Who knows? Man, it's so exciting, though, see how this is all going to play out as we move from the second biggest pay-per-view all the way through to next year's WrestleMania. And man, 4 title changes tonight. 4. Everybody except for Cody Rhodes that won a championship at WrestleMania lost their championship tonight. That's pretty fascinating in an era where Triple H has had guys, Roman, Gunther, keep the titles. Mommy, until she got hurt, keep the titles for a long, long time. To see this many title changes in a relatively short period of time from WrestleMania to SummerSlam, pretty incredible. Pretty incredible, man. I'll talk a little bit more about that main event. I am going to give the main event an A-. Minus, just, I don't know, just because it went down. I mean, it pretty much, you know, the old saying of predictable, but as we always say, predictable is not always bad, but it knocks it down just a hair. Just a hair, but it was great, man. And how about Arn Anderson showing up before the match? I mean, I'm about to get some tears going whenever they're telling the story of Cody Rhodes' dog, how this is his last time on the road with him because he's 13 years old now. He's going to go be back home with the family, get him off the road. And Cody's coming to the ring thinking, all right, cool. He's going to get to the ring now. And there's Arn Anderson. Oh, man, I loved it. I absolutely enjoyed the crap out of that. You know, I know it was kind of a little thing compared to everything else that we saw happen, but it was one of my favorite moments of the night. And just with what Arn Anderson said about, you know, he's got guys that can help him. He talked about, I'm paraphrasing here, but he talked about guys from different companies. So I'm thinking, oh, man, like they're trying to maybe, well, man, if we don't see Roman, or maybe we do still see Roman, but somebody else come out to help Cody Rhodes, like trying to swerve us off of Roman coming out. Why did he say that? Or is that going to happen in the future? Is it just a one-off with Arn Anderson? Or does Arn Anderson go back by Cody Rhodes' side? We've seen in previous press conferences where Cody Rhodes was saying that he hoped, you know, Arn Anderson would be back by his side and would love for Arn Anderson to manage him. I'm paraphrasing again, but something along those lines. It was just fascinating with what Arn said. I'm thinking, oh, I have no idea about contracts or anything, but I'm like, I don't know. Who from, we're talking about somebody from AEW here? Who could come help cut? Wardlow? Is Wardlow still under contract with AEW? I mean, I'm just, just speculating. But I loved Arn Anderson being there. I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again just real quick here. But if it wasn't for Arn Anderson, I'm not sure if I ever fall in love with professional wrestling. 1990, 1991, 6, 7 years old, at my grandparents' house on a Saturday night watching WCW. Well, I wasn't watching it, scrolling through the channels. WCW Saturday Night happens to be on the TV. My grandpa's got the clicker. He's clicking through the channels. And I'm like, Grandpa, go back. I was like, that guy looks like you. That guy was Arn Anderson. So we watched him, and then every Saturday night, always over at my grandparents on Saturday night, every Saturday night, man, we would watch it, and that's how I fell in love with professional wrestling. So thank you, Arn Anderson, for that. But just great stuff. Really hope we see him stick around. And it was just one hell of a way to cap off what was just pretty damn good. I mean, man, oh man, I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at some of the other ones. I mean, I know it was better than the 2022 SummerSlam I was at in Nashville. That's for darn sure. There were some great moments at that, but hell, we couldn't see half the time. The lights were so damn bright, we were in the 100 sections, but we couldn't see. Shining the lights at you so that it looks good on TV. And I wonder if that's what happened. I believe it was in the Gunther and Damian Priest match, where there were some odd cheers at points. We were chanting, turn the lights off, we can't see. Turn the lights off, we can't see. I noticed the crowd got a little bit darker. Were they chanting that? Because I heard some chants. I was like, I don't know what they're chanting. And I was joking with my buddy, Scotty, who you've seen on some of these shows before. I was like, were they chanting what we were chanting? And then I was like, wait, dude, did it just get a little bit darker? Because there was a couple odd times where nothing was happening, and there was a couple cheers. I was like, did they just turn the lights off on that side, and then they turn the lights off on that side? I thought the crowd got louder after that point. Anyways, that aside, just whatever. I have no idea if that actually is what happened, but I just know that it was a really hot crowd for a stadium show. It doesn't always turn out that way. You don't got a roof on it, so the sound escapes relatively quickly. And like I said, if you are shining the bright lights on the crowd and it's hard for them to see, they're not going to be into it as much. So I thought, man, yeah, this is one of their best stadium shows. And as good as everything was that went down in and outside the ring on paper, quote unquote, it's the crowd that makes these things, man. And I thought Cleveland did an outstanding job last night. Jelly Roll and some other things, helped add. I love the opening. I'm going to jump out of order here. We're trying to work our way backwards. But I love the opening, how they didn't have a traditional opening with music and just graphics here and there, previewing all the matches. It was Jelly Roll in the ring singing Liar, I believe it was. And then showing little clips, but then showing him live in the ring singing. What a nice touch. Just so many production things. The WWE, they were great before. They're just on an even bigger, higher level now with the things that they do. And I mean, as Cody Rhodes said, we're in the best boom period of wrestling. I believe it. Like as good as it was when I was a kid growing up in the 90s into the early 2000s. It was one of the golden ages of wrestling. Like I'm right there again, man. I feel like a kid again watching this stuff over the last couple, 2-3 years. Coming out of COVID, it's just been great, man. So great. Let's continue on and talking about all the greatness that we saw tonight. And I guess before that main event, it was them announcing the attendance, and Miz out there getting a big pop in his hometown with R-Truth. R-Truth just continues to be So damn funny. It was so simple, but man, you got a Miz is announcing, this is my house, and oh, R-Truth, and you got a big house, man. And 57,000 plus in attendance at Cleveland Browns Stadium. Theory and Waller coming out and interrupting Jelly Roll with the chair. How about that one-handed choke slam on Austin Theory? Theory made Jelly Roll look like $1,000,000 on that choke slam. That was great. He might have got into the ring just a hair too early. He was standing behind Theory and Waller, but I'm not going to nip. I'm really not going to do much nitpicking on this entire show because it was so great. And he's a bigger guy, so you got to make sure he gets in the ring in time. And those guys did a good job of staying turned around and then having The Miz and R-Truth point, and he hits him with it. Again, that chokeslam was great. I love the best attendance announcement in history. Should we grade it? Why not? I'm giving it a solid A. No, it wasn't better than the main event, even though I gave it an A, but I'm grading it for what it's worth. I guess I'll have to give it a B plus then, huh? I don't know. But it was great. It was great, man. Oh, man. Going backwards to a world title matchup between Gunther, King General, and Damian Priest. Good match. Most hard-hitting match of the night for sure. Not the way I thought it would go down specifically. I thought it would be more of a, whoops, Balor and maybe even the other guys come out and try to help Priest, but then cost him. And then we see on Raw on Monday or over the next few weeks that Priest just gets fed up with it and throws them to the curb. And we'll still see some of that, but he was already going to have to throw him to the curb, especially reaching out, putting his hand around Finn Balor's neck after Finn Balor put Gunther's foot on the rope. Right, and that's what cost him. The emotion got the better of him, just like it did earlier in that CM Punk Drew McIntyre match we're going to get to. Please, guys, I want to know what was your favorite match. Let me know in the comments. Any other comments? If I say something stupid, let me know that too, because I a lot to cover, and chances are I might slip up. Who knows? But man, oh man, just great. But please, guys, give me a like, follow, subscribe, all that good jazz. Yeah! We'll get to LA Knight coming up too. But man, this world title match, in just a small detail of Damian Priest not realizing that Finn had put Gunther's foot on the bottom rope at first, and then he looks up and sees it on the big screen up there, and the announcers who did a great job all night helping tell the stories for the most part. That just a small little touch, but that's why he saw it, and that's why he put his hand around his throat. The only thing I say coming out of this is, did that, taint Gunther's world championship? He was asked about it afterwards. He said no, and I think we're going to see him try to prove even more that he's deserving of being the world championship, to kind of doubt the naysayers that say that he only won because Finn helped him. I do think that will be part of the story, but this was solid, very solid. Gonna give it an A minus as well. Just with the turn there from Finn Balor, really I think helped elevate this from a B plus to an A minus. Just really good, man. Just really good. And I think, Damian Priest, still got a lot to do after this. The Judgment Day just pretty much totally imploding after tonight. It'll be interesting to see where they go with that as well. I would assume Dom and Liv just go off, do their own thing, or is Liv the new mommy of the group? Is Liv now a part of the Judgment Day, and then Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley are the only ones that go out of it, and we still see Dom and Finn and JD and Carlito be part of the group. I think they should just send out Damian. Just Damian and Rhea. Just, they're, going out on their own, and Dom as well, just being with Liv, and just having those other 3 guys be together. Would it really be much for them after they play out this storyline with Damian Priest? He's going to want revenge on Finn. I think that'll probably be a match at Bash at Berlin. It would be a pretty decent one. Damian Priest and Finn Balor. You could argue that storyline's been that good, where that's a pay-per-view quality matchup. You could absolutely see that happening. But yeah, after it all plays out, we'll see what happens with the Judgment Day, if there's anything left of them at all. On Monday in a few weeks, JD, Finn, still the tag team champion, so is it possible if they're just the tag team champion Judgment Day and Carlito's their manager? Yeah. Yeah, or maybe I think that's probably what happens here. But great World Championship match. Like I said, going to give that one an A- as well. Moving on to CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. I hope I don't miss anything here. So much from SummerSlam. But this, my friends, is my match of the night. I'm giving it an A+. Yes, were there other matches that were probably better as far as just in-ring goes? Yeah, Priest and Gunther probably one of them, but when you combine the wrestling with the in-ring storytelling, I don't think you can get much better than what they did. Everything with the bracelet, absolutely phenomenal. I thought coming in, Seth Rollins as a special guest referee, especially after what we've seen on Raw, might distract a little bit too much. And this thing's really, truly, even though Rollins has been in the middle of all this, it's really, truly about CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, so I was worried about him being a distraction. I did think he was just a little bit of a distraction at first, but not for very long. He played a big role in the storytelling in this matchup. It was just, to me, like Drew McIntyre, even though CM Punk's been presented as the babyface, to me, this was the right call, because Drew McIntyre really is the one that's been truly getting screwed over. I know CM Punk likes to say it was Drew McIntyre doing it himself, losing his cool and everything like that, but just as many times as CM Punk screwed him over, CM Punk, he didn't do a ton. Drew McIntyre didn't do a ton to CM Punk. The one thing that sticks out to my mind was, saying he wished he got injured, that he had prayed for that, or really what started a lot of that, but it was CM Punk that kept screwing over Drew McIntyre, so Drew finally getting revenge. Finally getting his revenge in this matchup, I think was the right call, and he got some cheers. And him coming out of this now, I don't know if he's babyface or heel. And Drew says he's done with CM Punk, but CM Punk done with Drew? He's still got that bracelet, man. He's still got the bracelet. I was thinking, Drew wins. Maybe he just rips up the bracelet into pieces and just, you see the pieces go over CM Punk. And then to me, that would have been the right call if he does say he's done with them. Yeah, I think they probably should have done that, but if he just keeps wearing it around, then it's going to make CM Punk even more furious. So, if CM Punk's truly the babyface in all this, I think we got to see a rematch at some point, and CM Punk would have to go over. But just the way that played out with Rollins, you know, putting on the bracelet just because it had been in the mix. He's like, all right, I'm going to pick it up and just wear it. You know, I'm just going to wear it. And then CM Punk losing his cool over that. It's been Drew every single time losing his cool, hurting himself because he couldn't stay calm. And the flip scripts, and it's CM Punk that couldn't stay calm, and it cost him the match. And just, again, man, storytelling was at its absolute finest. And the reason it gets an A+ too is because CM Punk looked the best he's looked in a very, very long time. First WWE one-on-one match in 10+ years. I didn't think he looked good really at all from his in-ring standpoint in AEW. I was really worried about him being able to come out there and perform at a high level, but I thought he excelled. I thought he proved he still belongs in the ring. Hopefully he comes out of this unscathed. I do think maybe that could have played into their decision to put Drew over in this match. Maybe not, but just, you know, CM Punk's injury history and being towards the latter part of his career, it definitely might have played into it, or maybe had nothing to do with it, because I just think that the way this story was going, that this was the way to tell it, and Seth Rollins being the guest referee, it just added so much to it, and I have nothing bad for the feud. This has been the feud of the year, in my opinion. Absolutely the feud of the year. And then everything we saw in this match, man, oh man. Really, 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 really good stuff. And it sets up, just like I said in the preview, so I thought Drew would win this. And CM Punk losing his cool on Seth, going to continue, I think. They'll start a program now. I mean, yeah, I do think CM Punk is still going to want some revenge on Drew McIntyre, get his bracelet back, all that stuff. So, yeah, they could get another one-on-one match. We could get a three-way match out of this. But, you know, long-term, we got so much to still tell in this. I think maybe eventually we do end up, early prediction, I would say CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, perhaps, at next year's WrestleMania. I know, it's a long way off, but with the way they tell these stories and just trickle them every single week and don't go out there and just blow through a storyline in a month, I think that is absolutely, totally possible for them to play that all the way out to WrestleMania, and perhaps we get the match that, I believe we were supposed to get that at last year's WrestleMania, right? But great stuff. Great stuff here, man. Again, A+, my match of the night. Moving on! Nia Jax taking the championship off of Bayley. This was the match I was least excited for going into it. The potential of Tiffany Stratton cashing in got me a little more excited, and they teased that. Was she coming out to cash in? No, to me, it was every indication that she was coming out to cash in that championship, money in the briefcase, and try to become the champion. But I think you can see it play out. Well, they do kind of talk about that, and I was like, you were coming out to help me, right? And then Tiffany Stratton like, oh yeah, that's what I was doing. I was coming out to help you. You know, Bayley knocked me off the apron though, but yeah, I was coming out to help you. I wasn't coming out to cash in. I thought not that Tiffany would cash in and win this, but this was absolutely the right call here, because it goes back to the slow burn of storytelling, and now they can tell that story of the queen and the princess over the next several weeks to months to come. It should have been a giveaway when Nia got, maybe not, Nia got Tiffany the new briefcase. Like, she could have got it, and then, yeah, I mean, eventually I think she does use it on her at some point, and it makes it that much even better that Nia's the one that made it for her. There's just little things in these stories they tell that are just details, but details matter, folks. And, I didn't think Bayley's title run was very strong. I hope she'll be able to rebound and they can figure out something for her to do. Her gear kind of looked like back to the a la Bayley Hugger days. Who want to see Bayley Hugger days again? We want to see the wacky inflatable tubby tails, whatever they're called, inflatable guys. No, I don't. I think Bayley's much better as a heel, an annoying, very annoying heel, but much better as a heel nonetheless. And good for Nia, man. First SummerSlam, being gone from the company, and Triple H giving her a call to come back, and the fans, including myself, kind of being like, why? Why? Like, really? Nia Jax? Like, she's never really done that much. She's all right, but she's never really done that much for me. Good for her, I think, for proving everybody wrong. This match undersold, over-delivered for me. How about that? Bayley slamming Nia Jax down, powerbomb. Believe it was just her strength to be able to do that. Pretty damn good, man. 3 annihilators, those 2 at the end, so great. She hits her with the one, making Bayley look strong that it took that many, but she hits her with the one there at the end of the 2 in a row. I like how before she went for the third, she does the motion with the belt across her waist and then hits that third annihilator. Boom, 1, 2, 3. Definitely the right call. Nia Jax winning this matchup. Started off a little bit slow. Crowd not big into it early on, but they were into it late. Bayley garnered some holy shit chants after that feat of strength that she was able to pull off. But Nia getting this championship, very interested to see how this goes. I'm interested in it again. And I haven't really been interested in it for quite a while now. So good stuff there. B- for the Nia Jax winning one of the WWE Women's titles. Sorry, I like it. I do like it that it's not Raw Women's Champion and SmackDown Women's Championship, but I do get confused on which one is which. Women's World? I think that's Liv. I don't know. We'll get to her. We'll get to her coming right up. You better believe it. But before that, we saw LA Knight, long time coming, winning the United States Championship over Logan Paul. Let's talk about Logan Paul just briefly. I know he was only a part-timer, and I have no idea what's been going on. I just don't pay a lot of attention to the stuff outside people's personal lives, and people get offended by other people and this and that. I don't even know, but apparently there was some stuff going on outside the ring with him. I have no idea what it is, whatever. But just talking about him as, yeah, he was a part-timer, but I thought he elevated that belt to a whole nother level. I mean, we're talking about a championship that's really meant hardly anything for such a very, very, very long time with Triple H and company taking over. This has really been elevated back up the ladder. I would argue that right now, that being the fact LA Knight holds that championship, I know that's probably a lot of people would disagree with this because of what Gunther did for that Intercontinental Championship, and Sami Zayn did a decent job, and now we'll see what Braun Breaker does with it. But I'll put it to you this way, and maybe it's not more prestigious than the Intercontinental Championship, but I'm definitely more interested. Don't get me wrong, I am absolutely 1,000% interested in Braun Breaker, but I'm more interested in seeing, I guess, not really a good way to put it either. I guess I'm more interested in seeing what Braun Breaker does as Intercontinental Championship, and if he can keep that title as high as it's been. But man, just such a long time coming for LA Knight. And I was just so extremely happy for him. So excited. That was up there definitely with some of the biggest pops of the night. Get into that coming up here in a little bit as well. And, you know, new wrinkles to LA Knight's game is doing the LA Knight and then jumping from the second rope, or was it just LA Knight? Yeah, it was LA Knight. Then he did the jump up to the second rope onto the top rope, and the crowd goes, yeah, when he hits the move, I believe is how that went down. LA Knight's not always been smooth. We've seen him mess up his going from the mat to the top rope once before, but he's gotten a lot better in the ring since then. He's really stepped up his game, because whose game is it? It's LA Knight's game. And I loved it, man. I loved how they started on the outside before the bell even rang, mixing it up from the first two matches of the night. Small thing, but I thought it worked. Super pumped for LA Knight. Logan Paul, move of the night. Logan Paul with his springboard moonsault, where he jumped around. He was facing one way and jumped around the other way and jumped up, did the backward somersault, hitting LA Knight on the outside. That was just incredible. And Logan Paul just continues to amaze. And it's quite possible we don't see him for a while. I hope we do, though. I hope we do. You know, if he wants to do a couple, 2-3 months off, you know, maybe even, I don't know, I'll just throw out a wild prediction. Maybe we don't see him till next year's Royal Rumble. That'd be a long way off. Hope we see him before then, but maybe not. If he is gone for that long, that would be one hell of a way to bring him back. Given this match a B+, loved LA Knight smashing out the Prime Trucks window before the match even started. Just a doom. I'm not doing a very good impersonation, but the little tones they got going on before the matches start, showing the guys in the back, especially, you know, mention Cody Rhodes and everything, like that just builds up that anticipation with those tones. I mean, we could see him back there, but just adding that little bit of music in there, not really music, but more, like I said, tones, just adding that in there. Small stuff, but big stuff, man, so good. B+ LA Knight, Logan Paul, Knight, your new United States champion. And Braun Breaker, your new Intercontinental champion. Taking down Sami Zayn. I don't know how long it was, but it felt like this was a pretty quick match. I mean, I'm not going to say it was a squash match or anything like that, but I will say that Braun Breaker went out and did what he said he was going to do, and that was destroy Sami Zayn. And I apologize if you watched the preview show. I was going off of somebody outside of the WWE and their match card, just making sure, you know, I knew them all, making sure we got them all in there. I think I said that Ilya Dragunov was in this match, because on that website I was on, it for some reason had that as a triple threat, and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, he's in there? And no, he didn't end up being in there. He was never, I don't think, planned to be in there all along. I'm not sure how they got that wrong, but yours truly got it wrong because of it. And it's, yeah, it's always somebody else's fault, but I'm willing to take responsibility for that. I'm just kidding. But yeah, lesson learned. Go with the match card lineup from WWE.com from now on, dummy. Yeah! But another right call. I just think from top to bottom, everything that they did, how they booked each of these matches, you know, from just who won, from a who won standpoint, every single one of them was the right call. Absolutely every single one of them, from about how they booked it, was pretty damn good too, on almost every single one of these. And you can tell Braun seemed a bit, it might be just me, but it seemed a bit nervous. It seemed like he was they were kind of having to talk back and forth a little bit. Hard to tell, but I could tell on some of the spots. I did think it was a little bit, when he gets his shoulder, like we already seen that in the first match, to see it back to back, like, all right, well, it wasn't a big deal though. But yeah, decent match. But overall, I think Braun looked good. I didn't think he looked great, but I think he looked good. I love him, and I love the Steiner brothers, one of my top favorite tag teams of all time. So love it now that I'm getting to watch Rick's son be as good as he is, and I'm very excited for him and to see where he goes now that he is Intercontinental Champion. I'm going to give that match a B-, and that takes us to the opening contest. Liv Morgan retaining her championship, defeating Rhea Ripley, and Daddy Dom prevails over having his mommy. It's not mommy anymore, it's Daddy Dom. Pretty darn good stuff in this one. I did think there were a few things here or there with that finish that could have been better. First off, Rhea Ripley, gone for quite a while, very strong, and here's the return. Her return. Liv Morgan just came into her own as a performer. Absolutely believe in her now. Having Dom by her side definitely elevates her as a heel. Dom is a double heel now? Did the turn there? A heel turn and a heel. What a spot. I did think, and I get it, they did the recall of how they did it before with throwing the steel chair in the ring, and you didn't really see where Dom was trying to make it go the first time. I thought we should have absolutely have been 1000% clear this time that he was tossing it in the direction of Liv Morgan. That was not the case, even though she's the one that picked it up. And we do see Dom smile, but then, to my knowledge, if I'm remembering correctly, I don't think it wasn't like this big thing on the announce team saying right away that Dom had screwed over Rhea Ripley. Even though he smiled, they don't say a thing about it. Not that I can remember. I'm pretty sure they did not, because I'm thinking, what's going on? Clearly, he's smiling. Clearly, he's screwed over Rhea Ripley, even though, like I said, the chair got kind of tossed in just out in the middle like it did before. But I think that didn't acknowledge it. Maybe we shouldn't have seen that smile on Dom's. I don't know. I just think they wanted to put the focus more on the kiss and drawing the big reaction, and having that be the moment where we knew for sure that this whole thing has been a ruse all along, and it was a great ruse. I really had a great feeling that was the case, and it was a ruse, and that's, I don't know, call me a smart mark or whatever you want to call me, but I see these things, I look at the details of these things. I've watched professional wrestling long enough to know how these things go, and that doesn't take anything away from it. If anything, it just confirms that to me that, yep, that's exactly what I would have done. And it was great, man. It was great, except for the execution on it. Like I said, could have been a little bit better, but that kiss did get a very, very good reaction. And it's going to be the kiss that everybody, it was a real kiss too. We see a little tongue. I think might have saw a little tongue. A little tongue in there maybe, huh? It was good. I'm not going to really nitpick. Okay, I got one more nitpick with it and then I'll stop. The only other nitpick is again, with the, if you're really trying to screw over Rhea, then why just toss it in the middle? If you're really trying to help Liv, then toss it on her side. And before that, we see Dom take the steel chair. It was just kind of weird the way the steel chair got in there, too. Just making it look like, okay, yep, clearly this is going to lead to Liv, or Dom, screwing over Rhea Ripley later and Liv retaining the championship. But if you're wanting Liv to keep the title, why are you stopping Rhea Ripley from using the chair? I mean, I guess you're stopping Rhea Ripley from using the chair on Liv so that Liv doesn't get hurt because Dom loves her, doesn't want to see her get hurt. So, okay, like that would help make logical sense. But as soon as he hit her with it, he could have got in there and then took it from her and then hit Rhea with it. But, I mean, that's not how they were going to book it. I just didn't think they needed to do it, though. I mean, you could say it added a little bit. It added a little bit to the mystery. And a lot of times you do throw logic kind of out the window sometimes just to add, just kind of keep everybody swerved, keep everybody guessing. But I'm a big fan of logic, so I wish this would have made just a little more sense. But I really can't hate on it that much because it's going to lead to a lot of good television. And overall, I mean, the kiss being drawn in that big reaction, it got me too. I was like, oh shit. I mean, I already knew it because I saw the smile on Dom's face, but still the kiss was like, oh my goodness. And the look on Rhea Ripley's face, how pissed she was. A lot of people be like, oh man, Dom's a lucky man. But he was a lucky man with Rhea too, right? Now, oh, even more lucky with Liv, huh? Well, all right, well, I don't know about that. I'm not sure I'd want to be Dom. Rhea Ripley gonna be coming for him, man. We see Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio? No. WWE doesn't like to do the intergender matches, so we probably won't. But I do think at some point, you know, what do I always say? Rhea full-blown baby face now. Absolutely. 1,000%. The heat now with Liv and Dom just elevates them so much more as heels. And yes, baby face, full baby face on the chase. The baby face on the chase, the heels being the champions. You make that argument. That's when wrestling's at its finest, is when that's happening. Yeah, the baby faces just keep chasing the heels, and I think we'll see that with Rhea. Yeah, obviously wanting to get her a piece of Dom, not in the way she always did before in the wrestling kayfabe fantasy land. But, yeah, wanting to get a piece of Dom, wanting to get that championship still from Liv. But, yeah, I'd say this completes the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour. Absolutely. But I do think Rhea, yep, going to chase. Eventually she gets that back from Liv. When, though, is the question. I mean, they had this match, the second biggest pay-per-view again. Do we draw it out all the way? It'll be a long time to tell that story. I don't think this one, I don't know if it can get that far to WrestleMania. So I think when would Rhea win that thing? No, I don't think it's as soon as Bash at Berlin. I think it's, again, like, I like the name of the pay-per-view for Bad Blood, so bad blood between them two for sure. Maybe Rhea gets it there. You know, Bad Blood returning for the first time in forever, so they want to put a lot of stock into that. I'm sure they're going to want to put a lot of stock into the card at Bash at the Berlin. I mean, man, it's just hard to keep topping themselves. And I know I don't think you're going to top themselves from a SummerSlam because that's the second biggest event of the year. But they're going to try. They get in the same ballpark. That'd be pretty damn good here. Liv and Rhea Morgan to open up the show. Going to give that a B. Liv retaining, Cody retaining, but everybody else lost. 4 title changes. And 3 of those were people who won the title at WrestleMania. I do believe. Pretty sure on that. Scotty pointed that out to me last night, and I was like, wow, you're right. I think so, yeah. Like, that's crazy. But I love that. I love that. Like, you pay off the story at your first biggest event of the year, second biggest event of the year, and you change some titles there as well. I loved it, man. Just overall, again, I think this is one of the best SummerSlams of all time. I'm living in the moment, baby, but hey, that's how I like to do anyways. Live in the moment. Ain't no sense worrying about the future. No, sir. But yeah, you can bet we're talking about it. And we're very excited to see what is to come. You betcha. You betcha. Overall, SummerSlam, I'm giving it an A. Did I just say that? I'm not sure. The pops tonight, we had to keep the TV turned down. Somebody was sleeping. I mean, we had it pretty loud. They probably woke up like 3 or 4 times, if I'm being honest. I hope we didn't wake them up, but we might have. But it was we had it up pretty loud. I could hear most of the pops, but I'm sure you can get on there and argue with maybe that there were bigger pops than the 3 I'm about to mention. But my pops of the night, not me personally. I'm going to get to those and call them in my moments of the night. I wanted to differentiate the two. Didn't want to confuse you. Pop of the night, number 3 moment, or number 3 pop of the night from the crowd, LA Knight. Number 2, CM Punk, whenever his music hit. And number 1, Roman Reigns, whenever he came back, his music hit. Was his music different, though? Was it a little bit different? I know it was, everybody knew absolutely 1,000 over that it was him right when his music hit, but it seemed like there was some, maybe it was a little more upper beat. Maybe it was just me. Maybe it was how loud the crowd was. I don't know. It seemed like his music was just a hair different, and you're going to be a baby face. You're going to want that more uptone beat, I guess. I don't know. Top 5 moments. Let's work our way backwards here. Number 5 moment. And a lot of people would be like, whatever. But, again, Arn Anderson, baby. Seeing Double A, I popped so hard. It was one of the biggest times I popped tonight, for sure, was seeing him. Just because we were seeing him, just being locked into the moment, hearing what he had to say, I'm like, oh. But then also thinking about, oh, man, I really hope he's by Cody's side. I would love that. I would love that if he was by Cody's side. Being his manager, I know a lot of people probably are, he doesn't need it. Arn Anderson's old, we don't need to see him and all that. And I get that, but I have that personal affection towards Arn Anderson just because he was the guy, man. Helped me fall in love with professional wrestling. Finn Balor screwing over Damian Priest. My number 4 moment of the night. My number 3 moment of the night, LA Knight winning the U.S. Championship. My number 2 moment of the night was that kiss between Liv and Dom. And then, I know it's the obvious one, and it was the most expected one, but still, I'm going Roman Reigns' return. My top 5 moments. And you're like, Gary, but you picked match of the night for Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. How is there not a moment in there that you liked that wasn't in your top 5 moments? Well, I just thought there were so many moments in that match, and just with them talking about, I'm just sitting there going, oh my God, what? I was just on the edge of my seat the whole time with that story they were telling, so it's hard for me to pick out a moment in that match. But it was my match of the night for sure. Absolutely. Oh, did I cover everything? I think I might have covered everything. If I missed something, sorry. I'm not perfect. My bad. Yeah, hopefully I made sense, didn't mess anybody's name up, but that's how she goes, bub. I appreciate you guys very much for joining me here on my SummerSlam review. Super pumped for Monday Night Raw. Tomorrow night, some of the fallout from SummerSlam. Be interesting. Roman Reigns is always on SmackDown. Will we see him on Raw on Monday, or do we hold that off for SmackDown? I think there's enough going on Raw tomorrow. We could, if it's Friday for Roman, then it's fine. It's all good. Wyatt's 6, their in-ring debut Monday. Be pretty interesting. But yeah, SummerSlam. Yeah, just man, I don't know. I want to keep talking about it, but really, I think I've about covered, and we've almost gone an hour now. I will say, well, where does Roman Reigns re-debut in the Top Rope Podcast Men's Rankings? You'll find that out on Tuesday, Top 10 Tuesdays. We'll make a video on it. We'll also post the rankings up at theTopRopePodcast.com. Where does LA Knight rise to? Braun Breaker, can he break in to the top 10? Gunther winning the world championship. Where's he going to be at now? How far does Bayley fall? That she's not the champion. Nia rising up. I mean, just we're going to see a lot of fluctuation probably in the Top Rope podcast, men's and women's. The full top 25s will be available at thetopropepodcast.com, but we'll talk about the top 5, top 10s on some videos coming up on Tuesday. What a show. What a show. Let me know what you guys think. Again, match of the night, what you'd grade it. If you'd be so kind to comment and give me a subscribe. And again, if you're watching this video at this point, you've survived all 55 minutes. I just want to humbly, from the bottom of my heart, say thank you. Thank you. And honestly, no matter how many people get on here and watch these things, I don't care. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm sure I hope to grow to 1,000, 2,000, 10,000. I hope maybe I can ask a question one day at the post-show press conferences. If we can get the channel that big, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. But I do it because I love it, man, and I love talking about professional wrestling. To me, you're my buddies. I'm getting on there talking with my buddies about professional wrestling, just like I do my real buddies in person in real life. But maybe I can ask a question one day. I love most all of professional wrestling media, but we gotta get some better questions going on in that post show. So there were some good ones. There were some decent ones. And maybe I missed it because I was watching I watched most of the post show. It was 5 in the damn morning before I got to sleep. 5 o'clock in the morning because the show ended at 3:30, 4 o'clock. I mean, you can bet I love professional wrestling that much. I'm gonna stay up. I'm gonna watch the post show. I did fall asleep right whenever Triple H was coming on, but I didn't hear him mention Roman Reigns. I didn't hear anybody ask a question about Roman Reigns. They asked Cody about him. I do remember them saying that, but I do think there should have been a lot more emphasis on Roman Reigns in that post-show, in the actual press conference part of it. Sure, they're talking about it on the panel before, but I don't know. I got some questions. I would love to ask them. I would love that. My nitpicking on the post-show press conference, we got people asking about moments that were 2-3 months ago. Like, focus on what happened tonight and what could happen in the future. Focus on that. And I get it. It is about reflecting, though, and talking about different things here and there. But would love to ask me a question one day. I would love it. And the only way I am going to get there, though, guys, if you would kindly give me a like, a follow, and subscribe. We will see you soon. God bless.